This is your 420 Radio News for Friday, May 3rd, 2013. I'm Russ Belville. Fox News poll, 85% support medical marijuana legalization from National Cannabis Coalition. A new Fox News poll conducted by the partnership of Democratic and Republican polling firms has found that a stunning 85% of Americans surveyed support the legalization of marijuana for medicinal purposes. This marks the highest level of support in the Fox News poll, rising from 81% support in 2010 and 79% support in 2001. Democrats were most in support of medical marijuana at 91%, but even 4 out of 5 Republicans, or 80%, believe, quote, adults should be allowed to use marijuana for medical purposes if a physician prescribes it, end quote. Support among men and women, white and non-white, college educated or not, was virtually identical. However, a plurality of Americans believe that most people are using medical marijuana laws merely to avoid arrest for smoking pot. Only 30% of respondents believed most medical marijuana users truly need it as medicine, while 47% believe, quote, they just want to smoke marijuana, end quote. Yet, even with this recognition of medical marijuana as a cover for personal use, Americans are virtually split on the subject of tacitly allowing legal personal marijuana use. 46% of the respondents favored outright legalization of marijuana, while 49% were opposed. On this topic, there is a great partisan and gender divide. Democrats and men support legalization by a majority, 57% and 51% respectively, while Republicans and women oppose legalization by a majority, 62% and 55%, respectively. Once again, women's support for legalization lags 10 percentage points behind men's support, and only 1 in 3, or 33% of Republicans, support legalization. Another interesting poll question asked whether driving was more dangerous after drinking alcohol or after smoking marijuana. A 51% majority agreed that drinking and driving was more dangerous, while only 4% of respondents thought toking and driving was worse than drinking and driving. 35% found both toking and drinking to be equally dangerous. No partisan, gender, age, race, or income demographic found toking and driving to be more dangerous than drinking and driving. More Republicans thought the worst of it at 6%. Only independents, 46%, and people over 55 years old, 43%, had pluralities that believed marijuana and alcohol were equally dangerous on the road. Medical marijuana ruling due Monday from Riverside News. The California Supreme Court will rule Monday, May 6, on a Riverside case that will decide whether local governments can ban storefront medical marijuana dispensaries. The ruling will decide whether cities and counties that have banned medical marijuana clinics through zoning ordinances are on solid legal ground, or whether they have overreached by blocking a way to purchase marijuana for use that is permitted by state law. There are an estimated 200 local bans statewide on medical marijuana stores. Maine panel hears case for marijuana legalization from Boston.com. With other states already starting to allow the legal use of marijuana, Maine needs to get ahead of the issue and legalize, regulate, and tax the sale of the drug, lawmakers were told Friday. The bill would legalize, tax, and regulate the sale of marijuana for personal consumption for people over 21 years old. Adults could possess up to 2.5 ounces legally and also grow up to 6 plants for personal consumption. The bill establishes a tax rate of $50 per ounce for marijuana sold by licensed marijuana cultivation facilities, which would generate $13 million in revenue for the state. Marijuana and Walmart could both appear on the Springfield August ballot from thenewsleader.com. An agenda for Springfield City Council reveals that a public vote on a marijuana ordinance could come during the election in August. The second agenda item is the previously repealed ordinance that would have reduced penalties for possession of small amounts of marijuana. Council has reworked the proposal, taking out language it previously cited as a reason to repeal the measure. Petitioners had enough signatures on an August campaign to force the council's hand on the issue. In a controversial move, the council adopted the ordinance change, but then immediately repealed it, citing issues in the petition language that conflicted with the Springfield City Charter. That included expunging conviction records and creating a citizen oversight committee. Council has now returned with an amended version of the proposed ordinance change, which would get rid of the committee and would not expunge the records. It does, however, limit punishments to $150 fine for 35 grams or less of marijuana. It also blocks arrests solely on the charge of possession of a small amount of marijuana. This has been your 420 Radio News for Friday, May 3rd, 2013. I'm Russ Belville. When we come back, we go behind the headlines and take a look at this Saturday's Global Cannabis March, taking place in 300 or more cities worldwide. We'll tell you how you can get involved, find the city near you, and what's happening at our local march here in Portland, Oregon. You're listening to The Russ Belville Show on 420radio.org. We'll be right back.